Hey guys, it's Miss Ruby here. Wanted to do a quick video and explain how the books work. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Sparks. We are in Sparks for Jesus. Okay, the first book in Sparks is a hang glider. Second book in Sparks is Wing Runner. Third book in Sparks is Sky Stormer. Now, Sparks is a 3-year program, kindergarten, first, and second grade. For those of you who already know, you're like, old news. Yeah, I know, but there might be some other stuff, so keep watching. Okay, so no matter where you start in Sparks, whether you start in kindergarten, first, or second grade, you will always start with the hang glider and move on to the Wing Runner and the Sky Stormer. Typically, we only do one book a year. If you start in kindergarten, you'll only do one book a year. But if you start in first or second grade, you have the option of doing more than that in order to catch up and complete all 3 books in however many years you're in Sparks. So if you join in first grade, then you have 2 years to complete all 3 books, and if you join in second grade, then you have just that 1 year to complete all 3 books. So that's how the books go. Now let's explain to you what's inside the books. Okay, so here we go. Inside every book, the first section is the rank. You complete, I think it's 6 or 8 sections, and after you complete those, you get your rank patch. Let me find where that's at. Found it. Okay, here's the rank patches that are going to be on the Sparky uniform. This is a little bit older uniform. That's why the Sparks looks like that. That's an older patch. So you see the patches. One is Hang Glider, Wing Runner, and Sky Stormer. So all 3 books, they all start with a rank section. And once you're done with that, you get your rank patch. Okay, moving on. The rest of all 3 books, they're all built the same. They all have lessons, and they have stories, and then they have scriptures to memorize. All 3 books, after you earn the rank patch, they have 4 red jewels and 4 green jewels that you'll work towards earning. Now, maybe you're wondering, like, how do I know what we're working on? Okay, well, that's kind of easy peasy. You're going to take your book and you're going to look at the top right-hand corner, and it's going to let you know what you're working on. So do you see here in the hang glider book, we can see that right now we're working on the rank patch. And then if we move on, we can see that now we're going to work on red jewel number 1. And if you keep going, it'll let you know when you're done with the red jewel, you'll move on to the green jewel, and then the red jewel, and then the books flip-flop like that. Red jewel, green jewel, red jewel, green jewel, until you complete the book. Now, at the end of each section, you'll know that you're done with the section, because at the end, you're going to see Sparky. He's going to pop up and say, hello! Right here, he says, hooray! You have earned your rank patch. Super cool, right? So at the end of the rank section, you'll have you'll have Sparky with the rank patch. Now at the end of the other sections, you'll have Sparky saying, hooray, you have earned the jewel. So right here, he's letting you know that you've earned another jewel, and they'll let you know which jewel you've earned. So once you're done with all your jewels, and once you've earned your rank patch, you've finished all your jewels, guess what? You finished the whole book. Oh, but wait a minute. I forgot to tell you where the jewels go. I'm back. Okay, the jewels are going to go in these super cool wings. We have 1 wing for each book. The green is for the hang glider. The blue is for the wing runner. The red is for the sky stormer. You see the cool wings? Yay, you see the jewels in the wings? Those are awesome. Okay, so you're going to earn 1 of those wings, and then you're going to fill it with jewels. You're going to get 4 red jewels, like I said, and 4 green jewels for each wing. Now, if you look right here, you can see that there's also blue jewels. There's 4 blue jewels that you can also earn, and those are for club attendance. So make sure you let your clubbers know to always attend club. They should get club attendance every 8 weeks as long as they've attended. I think it's like 90% attendance or something. We allow if they're sick. There's also another extra patch that they can earn for Sunday school. There they are. You can earn 2 per year, 1 mid-year, 1 end year, and those are for Sunday school to make sure, if you so encourage your clubbers to go to Sunday school so they can earn their patch. Now, once your clubber finishes their book, and if they can't move on to their next handbook because they finished their book for the year, then they move on to extra credit. Yep, extra credit, that's right. So our extra credit are called our frequent flyers. They're kind of like flashcards. So let me show you the frequent flyers. This is a super cool part right here. See this beginning part in the frequent flyer? I don't know if you can see it. This beginning part right here, this is your book review. Those are all the verses that were inside your handbook. So we have one frequent flyer for every handbook. So this is the Wing Runner frequent flyer. That's a mouthful, huh? And we have a Sky Stormer frequent flyer. And we also have our beginning one, our Hang Glider frequent flyer. Great. So once they finish their handbook, and if they cannot move on to the next book, because we know we try and only do the one a year if they're on track, then we send them over to the extra credit. So once they finish that first section, they get that first book review section in their frequent flyer, they get a patch. Let me show you what that looks like. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Now you see these are the wings that they earned, right? These wings right here. The patch is this patch right behind. So all those patches are for the Hang Glider frequent flyer, or this one's for the Wing Runner, and the one at the bottom is for the Sky Stormer, the book review portion. Okay, great. So that's for the book review portion. Now they finish up the frequent flyer. There's a bunch more new verses, and there's also something in there about missionaries. There's a section on missionaries that they work on, and they contact a missionary. So once they complete that, all the rest of the cards in there, then they receive this super cool pin. And there's a different one for Hang Glider, Wing Runner, and Sky Stormer. We're missing the Wing Runner one. And so there's a different pin for each of those as well. Great. So that takes you through the regular handbooks and the frequent flyers, which is our extra credit. But what about for those kids that do more? What do we give them? Great question. And now, guess what? I've got an answer. Okay. So if they're in kindergarten, they finish their handbook and then they finish their frequent flyer. We have an extra credit packet called Psalm 119 and I Am. So this is an extra credit packet. There's verses in there and activities. They need to complete those, and then once they complete that, they get a pin. If they're on track and they're in first grade and they finish their handbooks and their extra credit book, then they move on to, that's the wrong one. They move on to this one called God Loves Me. Again, full of verses and activities. And then if they're in second grade, they finish all their books and all their frequent flyers. Then they move on to this packet, the Armor of God. Again, verses, activities, super awesome. And when they finish that packet, they receive a pin. Okay, now there are kids that go above and beyond. What do we give them? Well, then we give them some truth scripts, which is a portion of scripture from Awana. They sell the pins, so we do different scriptures for that. And they go through the scriptures individually. They have to say them word perfect, the individual verse with the reference. And then they say all the verses together with the entire reference word perfect. That's important that we do those word perfect. Because if they're going to go so far to do the truth scripts, then they're ready, and that word perfect isn't going to be a big deal for them. So then they do truth scripts, and they receive a pin for that. And then we have some kids that go above and beyond that, and then we have a Christian hero book report. And then I know that some of you are saying like, oh, my clubber can't read. Well, that's okay. Mom and Dad can read a Christian hero book to them, and then they can draw pictures but we can talk about that later if you've got a clubber that goes that far. Okay, so let me talk to you just a little bit about paperwork, because I'm sure Miss Alicia already talked to you about that, but just to double check. Okay, so each handbook has its own record sheet. See? Dun-da-da! There's one for Hang Glider, one for Wing Runner, that's a mouthful, and one for Sky Stormer. That's right, there's one for each. See, and the back is where you record. On the front is where we have our attendance and all that. You're just going to check mark the date that correlates with whatever they've done. Theme night, Bible book, attendance. And then on the back, you're going to write in the date when they complete the sections. Now, there's a P in the corner there. That's for parent signatures. When you're looking at your handbook again, when you're looking at your child's handbook, when you're looking at your child's handbook, we always want to make sure that they're signed by a parent. That means that the parent has gone over the verse with them. If they sign near the verses, that means that the kids get extra points for getting verses and being tested again by their parents on the verses again. So that's awesome. So if they do that, then that's great. And we want to make sure that we're circling, saying, yep, we got parent signatures. So make sure if they got parent signatures, you circle those P's inside the boxes. Now, what are these grayed boxes? See the boxes that are gray? Each book has different sections that they can skip and move on, like if they can't complete it. So those are the ones that you can skip. You can go, okay, well, I didn't complete. I can skip this part and I can move past and I can keep going. Remember, all books need to be done in order. Okay, we don't want to skip. Unless it's those gray portions, we can skip those until the end of the book. But then at the end, we have to go back and do them anyway. So make sure you're always going in order with any handbook or anything that you're doing. We can't just skip around everywhere. Once you're done recording the sections, when you're talking with your clubber, then you're going to put it on this half sheet. See the super cool half sheet? Super cool half sheet. You're going to take all the information from the individual record sheets. You're going to put it on the half sheet. Then you're going to take a snapshot of it and you're going to send it to Miss Alicia to her email. And then after that, she's going to forward it to her secretaries and it'll get inputted. Isn't that awesome? I think it's great. There's a lot of changes in regards to paperwork and everything this year because everything's all wonky because of COVID and the Zoom calls. So I just want to clear that up. We recognize that both LITs or leaders not having paperwork, if one is missing, then the other one doesn't know where the other, then the other leader doesn't know where the child is at, where the clubber is at in their book. So we decided that we're going to do folders for both LITs or leaders that are in the group. And then while you're both on a Zoom call, you will both be recording their sections. So you should get those folders this week. At the top of every individual clubber's record sheet, see right here at the top, there's going to be a sticker. It'll have the clubber's name and phone number and address. You can use their contact info to write them postcards each month. And I think that's it in regards to paperwork. One spot that we didn't talk about here on the front is where the blue jewels, I'm sorry, I don't know how to flip my camera. It's where the blue jewels were awarded, Sunday School Patch is awarded, and on the back, there are these gray areas where it asks you to write the date the item is awarded. It's important as much as possible that we try and write those dates down just to make sure that every kid got the award that they've worked for. We don't want to forget anybody. I know that was in-depth and a thorough understanding of the books, but I just don't want anyone to be confused since we're not meeting together. So that's it for this one. Watch the next video so we can talk about what a night looks like and how do we act on a Zoom call. Thanks!